Друзі, всім вітання. Вітаємо вас
Hello, dear
на
friends. We are happy to see you at the opening ceremony of Hatathon 5.0. My name is Anastasia Sylenok. I'm a co-founder of Digitizing.Space, and I have my colleague with me, my partner in crime, and my co-host today, my co-moderator, Anastasia Sleptsova. Nastya, hi. Hi, yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being with us today. And I hope that we will not have any outages today, power outages, and you will be able to stay with us if there are any outages. But all recordings will be available on our YouTube and Facebook page, and you will be able to review all of this a little bit later, so not to worry. My name is Anastasia Sleptsova, and I have been dealing with Hatathon together with my colleague and with our team. You do not see our team right now, but it's working very fast. It has been working for 5 years already, and for the fifth year, we have been opening this hackathon, and it is as worrying as it was for the first time. In our registration, we have more than 1,000 participants, and we are extremely glad to see that number. It's very inspiring because actually we are doing it for you. And today, in our agenda, first of all, we would like to welcome all of you to open, to have this introductory words, to give you some guidance, to kind of explain you what's going on. Because as far as I know that lots of you are already on the verge of starting. Some of you are already creating prototypes, working on presentations. So yesterday we had such productive QA session, and it seems to me that for somebody, Hackathon has already started, but still no worries. We will be directing you. Hackathon starts today. And I am pretty sure that for those who are with us for the very first time, it will be extremely interesting experience, not something that you might have had in other programs, and I'm sure about that. And for those who come to us already, not for the first year, and I know that we have lots such mentors and lots such projects, so we are very grateful for that. Please help those who have joined us for the first time. Help our community manager, Nataliia. She's trying to answer questions of more than 1,000 people, so you can imagine the amount of stress. Yes, so that's why read headlines, guys. There are more information there. Well, not more information than Natalia can provide, but still, read guidelines and then go to Natalia because Natalia is only one and there are lots of you. But yes, the team is working. We, in general, in this hackathon, we have amazing team, amazing people gathered with us today. Moreover, Nastya has already mentioned about participants of previous seasons, what was in previous episodes, and actually we even have upgrade of participants to mentors now, so we are also happy and glad that we managed to, grow those seats, and now they are mentors. Well, next year we will probably need to continue this growth and make them already juries. So yes, I think that it will definitely happen. And once again, first of all, it's always interesting to find out about your success. So please text us in the Slack. Write intro in intro channel, write about your ideas. So that's how you will be able to gather the team and prepare the hackathon. Right now, we are not going to prolong with organizational issues. We everything mentioned yesterday. Also, I have deadlines and Slack, but today we are beautiful. We are in embroidered shirts, and we came here to open hackathon, and we would like to invite our constant partner and also our partner in crime. Already we can say that the most stable relations with House of Europe, because it's already the fifth year that we have been working together, and it's always a really pleasant cooperation. Ilona, I would like to give the floor to you. Ilona Demchenko, program manager of House of Europe, and actually already full-fledged team member of Hackathon for all these years. Ilona, would you like to, how would you like to open the fifth Hackathon? Hi, everyone. That's true. Nastya has mentioned very rightly that for the first time, and it's already the fifth time, but still every time it's very worrying and exciting. And for me, actually, it is even more worrisome for me with years because when we had the first or even the second or the third hackathon, every time you think that, well, maybe it's some kind of small niche thing that is interesting only for us. And it's all going on online. Maybe no one even is listening to me. But now, after 5 years after the first one, we know for sure that lots of people listen to us, and impact from what is happening in this project is actually huge. 5 years, that's a big term timeline for any kind of project, especially in Ukraine, especially during COVID-19, especially during full-scale invasion. And now it is the third year. I'm not going to tell you how difficult it is for all of us right now. For example, I have power outage, but it's a minimum possible inconvenience that one might feel in Ukraine right now. It might be more serious, much more serious things and consequences. And we know that from our participants as well of previous years because they were joining us from different locations inside the country and outside of the country. This format has witnessed a lot and it continues living and growing. Here I see some kind of very nice metaphor of the fact that we all, as well as this project, will be growing. It will not always be easy, but nevertheless, we will have this nice point, nice place where we can all get together online and work on new ideas. And all these ideas will be connected with Ukraine, with Ukrainian culture, with how to make it more sustainable, even more sustainable. It's already sustains a lot, but it still needs support. And for us, this hackathon is basically embodiment of how what that the support might have different forms. It might be support of some international partners. I'm a representative of one of them, but also we have support from each of you, those who are interested in it, those who would like to take part, those who have their own vision and they're ready to share this vision with the world. It's actually extremely inspiring, and I can sincerely mention that among all the projects I have been working on in my work in Goethe Institute, and it's more than 10 years, it has always been a separate project because this is a project I get new power from, not just to give some resources, but also get some new contacts, new ideas. That's all. It's just that's the end for formal part. Now let's move to the practical one. From the practical point of view, I would like to mention the following. Since really the project has been lasting for 5 years already, and together with both Anastasias and we have been thinking about how we can develop further because we already got pretty sure that we have pretty dynamic people around us, community, and that we may work even more effective than Hatathon can provide for. But this year, for the fifth anniversary, we decided that we will go beyond what was before, and as they say in English, in more ways than one. First of all, Hackathon this year will have what we were dreaming about from the very beginning, from the very first hackathon that was during COVID lockdowns. And actually, it was created because of COVID lockdown. It not just happened at that time, but that we made it up because during lockdown conditions, we wanted to find a way to get together and to communicate. I remember really well when we opened the first hackathon, then head of the House of Europe mentioned that maybe one day we all will be able to get together offline. This year, not all of us, but we will still be able to get offline. Hackathon will get offline final eventually. Final will take place this year in Kyiv. Colleagues will talk about this a little bit more later, but we will be happy to invite to Kyiv those who are going to be in finalist shortlist. So it's, of course, it will depend on their opportunity, but at least this year there is a possibility to present projects not only online, but also physical space together with all of us and to see all of us not only at their screens. The finalists will have this opportunity. We're extremely happy. It is not difficult to organize in those conditions that we are currently having, but we are happy that we will have such opportunities. So at least with some of them, we will definitely see each other in real world and not only online. Secondly, we have talked a lot and thought how to implement this energy that Hatathon brings us, not only within those nice 1 week and so 10 days once per year, but to continue this cooperation further. And actually, we are planning after the end of Hatathon not to, well, actually wanted to say not to stop existing of this community, but community exists nevertheless. So, but I hope that this year we will be able to support active participation, so we will be able to offer some additional opportunities till the end of this year. More details about that we will tell probably after the end of Hatathon, not to distract you right now, because the focus, laser focus, should be on participation and on victory. But we have such desire, and ideally it will let us work with even more amount of projects than those which are already ready for Hatathon. So if you have any kind of idea that you are not yet ready to come to us, keep it in consideration. You will have opportunity within this year to communicate with us, and maybe this story will continue for you, and not within Hatathon of 2024, but after that. We are very glad for this opportunity. We are doing it for the first time. We hope that you will be active within this cooperation, because without you we will not be able to do that. We are doing this only with you and for you, but first and foremost with you. So I hope that it will be interesting for you and you will stand with us and stay with us for longer. And the third thing that I would like to mention is that since in House of Europe I am the person responsible for grants, I couldn't but come to this presentation without programs. Those who have taken part in this hackathon and have been taking part from the very first one know that after this hackathon we had a grant call. And for finalists, we offered to have such opportunity. 10 of them had grant opportunities, and it was extremely interesting experience. And during previous years, we couldn't repeat this, and that's why we will still have this if you're interested in that. So I think that I have already mentioned a lot. So I'm very happy that I could be here with you, and I'm happy that you're with us. And for us as House of Europe, as the project that has been implemented in Ukraine by House of Europe is always very specific. The Francizka, head of House of Europe, will be with us at the final closing event, and today she always would like to address Hackathon participants and wish them all the best and good luck. I think that now we will be able to hear Francizka, right?
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Hatathon Heritage Strength Innovations. We as House of Europe are implementing together with Digitizing.Space and with the support of the European Union in Ukraine, now already for the 5th time in a row. And yeah, I'm super happy to see that there are so many interested people, so many participants joining this ideathon to network and to create new ideas together. So this year again, the idea is to bring people together from the cultural field with people from the tech scene. So this year especially we dedicated to employees of museums, curators, artists, but also many, many more. And yeah, we want to give this platform to create new contacts, to learn new new things in terms of digitalization of cultural heritage, and also to maybe create and even innovate new approaches and ideas in this regard. So House of Europe with this hackathon wants to contribute to the preserving of Ukrainian cultural, intangible and material heritage. And I'm very happy that we are able again this year to organize this event. So you will have a lot of possibilities to learn new things. We have an amazing program with Ukrainian experts, with international experts speaking. Some of you will receive also further support in terms of mentoring, supporting your ideas. And I'm especially excited also then seeing at least some of you and some final projects in our final event on the 31st of May in Kiev. So I will be very happy to meet some of you also offline, hopefully there. And yeah, I'm excited to see the results, and really wishing all of you a great days with a lot of new input and ideas that will help you to further develop your projects and ideas. So thank you very much. Thanks also again to Digitizing.Space and to my colleague Ilona Demchenko, responsible for this hackathon. And yeah, have a great hackathon. Thank you.
Дуже дякуємо за
Thank you for such warm welcome from Francizka. It is always great pleasure when you can partner with partners. Yes, potato, still the same, but partner with partners. But still, it's extremely great when partners work together, and it's already our 5th year together. As Anastasia has already mentioned, these are probably the longest relations in our life, not only in working lives, if to sum it up. And I'm just interested whether we have those people with us. We will need to find it out in the Slack, so please be active in our community, whether we have those people already who are with us for the 5th year in a row already, apart from our team, for sure. And it seems to me that it will be very exciting to see that we will need to have some prize for such people. So if you're with us for the 5th year in a row, please text us about that. We will check it, and we will prepare something for you. Thank you, Francizka. Thank you, Ilona. Thank you, Nastya, once again. And on this note, from introductory words from partners, we'll start our own team hackathon. It's your coordination. For us, it's also hackathon. And actually, what is the whole concept and the whole mission of this event? It's to combine cross-sectoral expertise. So it's the same that's going on with House of Europe. So we bring technological expertise. House of Europe helps us with expertise and insights from the cultural sphere. We really encourage you to look for different people in your team that might not be from your circle. So for instance, if you have a designer team, as we yesterday had at Q&A session, you will need people from cultural sphere. If your team is from cultural sphere, then look for people from technological one. So this is that point that will guarantee really great, innovative, interesting project. And if not a project, then at least networking. And now I would like to give the floor to Nastya to be very concise for us to stick to the timeline and to tell about the timeline of hackathon and maybe give some guidelines to teams, because Nastya will be with you during the whole process of team formation together with our community manager Nataliia, and she will help teams in particular in presenting themselves in a correct way and be in criteria of hackathon to meet all the criteria. Thank you, Nastya. I'm sharing really great screen with amazing website that we have. Just take a look shortly in a very concise manner. Let's look through the milestones and timelines. Of course, we promised to end the registration on the 20th of May, but when we closed it, we got lots of letters and please open it again, open the registration again, because we couldn't manage to do it on time. We decided to continue registration for Hatathon, and actually they are still on till the end of the stream. So if you have your friends, acquaintances, please register right now so that we have broadcasting, something went wrong. So please register if you have acquaintances, friends who would like to take part in Hatathon, but they haven't decided on that yet, and but still they would like to register. Send them the link to Hatathon site, and we are accepting applications till the end of this stream, as I have already mentioned. Right now, we are at this point where we are opening Hatathon on 22nd, 23rd of May, so tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, you will have really great opportunity to listen to experts and learn something new, to get some skills for an educational program. An educational program consists of different workshops, lectures that will help you with digitalization and promoting of your product. So that's why even if right now you're not that sure, so for example, you do not have even any kind of idea you would like to get to Hatathon and you're just watching us right now, please register. Come to this educational program. Trust me, we always have lots of projects that actually appear while people listen to lecturers and they made up their ideas. Up till that time, within this educational program and beside it, there will be this unique opportunity to think about which idea you would like to have in Hatathon, register your project in a base of knowledge and project. All this information is in guidelines of participants. You will all get these guidelines when you actually fill in application for participation in Hatathon. 21st, 26th of May, it will be the whole essence, the meat of the project, as we say, because it will be checkpoints with team mentors. They are absolute professionals in their sphere. They inspire, they give guidelines, they advise you, they get information and data from you, they fix all of this so that our juries can honorable juries can decide your fate at the final estimation evaluation and choose the best teams that will be in the final, and then we'll get to acceleration program. 27th of May, the deadline for submitting your projects, presentations, forms. All this information will be available in the Slack as well. And on the 28th of May, we will already get the names of our finalists. What does it mean? So we will choose 15 teams in general. That's what we plan, at least so far, because during previous hackathons we were mentioning that there would be 10 teams, but we had 15 teams because the judges could not decide. Such projects were so cool that it was very difficult to decide only on 10. So that's why this year we'll have 15 teams that will be in acceleration, and 10 among them will be pitched offline in Kyiv at the 31st of May. With finalists, we will still connect separately, and just to give you some kind of hint, hackathon participants can go and support finalists. It will be separate information and registration for this event. Lots of questions appeared yesterday, just during Q&A session concerning estimation criteria, so I will look through them very fast right now. Once again, using this opportunity, I would like to remind you that we have guidelines of participant. It is your manual, it is your Bible, if you wish, where you have links to all the links that you need, all the documents, access to all mentors that you will have immediately after registration is closed of teams, so on the 24th of May, and you will be able to book meetings with mentors. Criteria, so just really fast. Team, so how many people do you have in a teams? What is the expertise of these people? Where are the representatives of from cross-cultural sectors? scaling and influence or impact. So how your project influences preserving and protection of Ukrainian cultural heritage during the war, and also opportunity to upscale it for different other regions or abroad. It already depends. Progress. So this is actually something that we are looking at very thoroughly. So it's not just that you have to come to Hatathon with already ready-made idea, presentation, and just to tell us that you are so cool, but you need to create something within those 3 days of your hackathon. So, and our team mentors really monitor this process, and it's mandatory to have meetings with them. Potential of the project is an opportunity to implement idea, whether you have resources needed for that. Presentation, it is the quality of presenting this information. We will ask you in the final to have the presentation. We will just look through your slides, we will read this description, but in the final offline, those 10 projects that they will be selected, they will be pitching. You will have 3 minutes in a very quality and cool way tell about your projects and bonus plus from me, because we will have time on the from the 28th till 31 to train it personally, and I will be really closely monitoring those 3 minutes timeline. We will train, and of course innovativeness, because what we created together with partners in 2020 during COVID, this hackathon was already innovative then, and now those projects that we have in hackathon, they are absolutely unique, they are transformational, and they definitely are technological. So that's in a nutshell. If to talk about evaluation criteria, all the information is available on the website, all the information is available in guidelines. The only thing that I would like to mention from my side, for you to be active, to always ask questions, but before you ask a question, please look, maybe somebody already provided this information to you beforehand, maybe you already have this information, and for you, I wish all of you to get from this hackathon, from educational program to Brewery hackathon, the maximum amount of quality information and information for you. So find partners, find your mentors, go to checkpoints, inform about your project, introduce yourself, improve you and your product, and good luck to all of you. Nastya, please, the floor is yours. Thank you. Thank you, Nastya. Yes, so once again, everything is in guidelines. We believe in you, because if you are in the Slack, if you already know how everything is done, you'll be able to do it, because you will be guided, you will be mentored. And now I would like to start our inspiring part of official program after practical one. And first and foremost, I would like to express gratitude to our international partners, our Ukrainian partners from different spheres, technological, cultural, and also give the floor to the partner that has been supporting us for the second year already. It's our international partner. It's Europeana Network Association, and our ambassador, Sofie Taes. She's actually has a background in music studies and Renaissance studies, and the head of Europeana Network Association. In this role, she's also a member of subgroup expert group of European Commission on space data for cultural heritage. So Sofie actually is dealing with digitalization of cultural heritage in the space of European Union, and is sharing her expertise with Ukrainian projects. She has been doing it for 2 years already within Hatathon. We will have workshop, it's just as an advertisement, from Europeana, English-speaking workshop already tomorrow within our educational program. Educational program is also in guidelines and the Slacks everywhere at 3 p.m. Please write it down. Yes, please add it in your calendar. And now I would like to give the floor to Sofie, so she can tell a little bit more about Europeana and how this integration of Ukrainian projects, how Ukrainian projects integrate into the country. Sofie, the floor is yours.
Hello. Thank you, Anastasia, for the introduction. Thank you all also for having us. I think it's completely our honor, our pride, and our excitement to be able to be part of this together with you. If I may, I will share my screen because I always have the honor also to show the nice stuff that we are working on with Europeana and that we're hoping you will also be working with in the next couple of days. Because why do we find it so important as Europeana to be here with you to support this amazing opportunity, this amazing event? Of course, first and foremost, because we truly believe in the power of technology and creativity to transform our everyday world into something a little bit more beautiful, a little bit better. Certainly, in times like these, times of stress and of despair, in which we want to stand with you in full solidarity. So it's only our small contribution to to set our shoulders under this event. But also because we believe that Europeana could be a really cool resource for you, creative geniuses to use during your artistic or your otherwise productive endeavors. So let me try here to share my screen and lead you to this very short presentation. I promise I will keep it concise, but I wanted to show you what it stands for, Europeana, and what is this idea of a data space. Well, Europeana is an initiative that has been in existence for over a decade and that started out as a sort of a portal to European digital cultural heritage collections, then evolved into a platform where you can also find tools and services and like-minded people. And today, Europeana has been appointed as the steward of what is called the Common European Data Space for Cultural Heritage. As an organization, Europeana rests upon three pillars. There's the foundation, the office, which is located in The Hague. There's the Network Association, which I have the honor to vice chair. This is an association that all of you are very much invited to become a part of. If you are enthusiastic about cultural heritage or interested to follow everything that happens in the digital cultural world, then this is where you need to go. This is the place where we connect with one another, where we stay informed of exciting new projects and opportunities. So I will come back to you with a call to action at the very end of my little talk. And then you see there this third pillar, the Aggregators Forum, which is a group of about 40 bodies that make sure that museums, libraries, archives, and other content producers, content owners have a nice and easy, smooth pipeline to distribute their collections to the world by showing them via Europeana. I see here that this slide is slightly strangely shown. I'm sorry about that. I wanted to just show you that Europeana, with its aggregators forum and its network association, of course, belong to a far wider ecosystem in which about 4,000 providers, so museums, libraries, and archives, are active. So that is a huge resource, a huge remit also of cultural content. And that's why I said we believe and we hope that what we offer through Europeana.eu, the website where all the collections can be consulted, somehow can inspire you throughout these days. This is the wider landscape of data spaces. I just wanted to show it to incite in you or to instigate this thinking about culture as and cultural content as a type of data that could potentially intersect with or interoperate with a far wider landscape of data and a far larger scope of domains. You see here, for instance, media, mobility, skills, tourism. These are all domains which you might think of interconnecting the project that you will be developing with, as they offer opportunities for a huge stakeholdership, a huge audience that we in the future as the data space for cultural heritage will also try to more actively serve and actively connect with. I do invite you to visit the new landing page that we just launched for the Common European Data Space for Cultural Heritage. And this is where we really want to amp it up when it comes to connecting with communities that are already into or embarking upon the digital realm of what it means to experience and to share culture. Let me show you this as well. This is another website that I strongly recommend you to visit, not only now, but over the next week. It's the Europeana.eu collections website, where you see at the very center this search box, a box that offers you a gateway to more than 50 million digital items that come from all across Europe and entail all kinds of digital collections. So if you're looking for videos, you'll find it, photographs, painted pictures, sound bites, 3D digitizations, texts and documents, you name it, it's in there, and there are 50 million of them. Of course, you will need to investigate how to best query, how to best dive into this treasure trove. I highly recommend that you use the Boolean operators, so the and, the or, the not factors, that you filter down your content by using all the different categories that you can select on the right side of the screen. It's not shown here in my screenshot, but as soon as you launch a search, you will see that different drop-down menus will appear. You can filter by country, by language, by copyright license, by orientation, by colors even of image. So I find it an immensely useful set of tools. And finally, my top tip is that you try to search in different languages, because that might lead you to some otherwise hidden content. We hope that you will reuse this content, and you are easily enabled to do so because of the fact that every single record is has a dedicated copyright label. So you will be instantly able to see whether or not it's free to reuse, it's public domain, it's CC0 content, or there are some restrictions attached to reuse. You could do that, of course, for any sort of project or product that you will be creating. If you would like some narrative inspiration to that end, I highly recommend that you also explore our editorials. This is where some of the records of in Europeana are brought together to either exhibitions, blog posts, or galleries that already curate and somehow contextualize all the rich content you can find in here. And look, maybe you want to put a small subset of items together to somehow materialize in your project, well, you can do it now with a gallery builder. It's like a Pinterest tool, but it's embedded within the Europeana collections website, and it allows you in a matter of minutes to select the records that you would want to have together for one reason or another. For instance, me as a digital curator, when I'm preparing an exhibition in different chapters, I create a gallery for each chapter, so that every image that attracts my attention doesn't escape me into the dark, deep corners or corridors of this huge and vast amount of records. Also, that might be interesting for you. You will be able to find on the Europeana Pro website, Europeana.pro, a set of APIs that of course allows you to be even more creative when it comes to developing applications or reusing heritage in another innovative way. And you can see that there are quite a few of them. So don't hesitate to tap into this resource that is freely available to you. For those of you who enjoy some tips on storytelling, who might be attending also the storytelling workshop of my colleagues tomorrow, there are some resources for you translated also in Ukrainian. For instance, these tips on storytelling, and I do recommend that you check them out because they have been put together by a team of communicators, of storytellers that have been working with these kind of collections for years. And more resources are coming. There's a digital storytelling event happening in these very days. You might be able to either check it out now or to go and catch up the recordings later. And there are 2 new courses that are going to be dropped on Europeana's learning platform. I'm sure that we can make these links available somewhere for you to easily jump into this as well. And then finally, here comes my call to action. I would love, but really love and appreciate, to welcome more Ukrainian members to the Europeana Network Association. You don't have to be an organization, you don't have to be a cultural heritage professional. You just have to be a person who's interested in cultural heritage and eager to stay at the very forefront of what is going on with cultural experiences taking place either online or in the physical world, but with digital resources. It's quite simple. You can go to a sign up form. It will not take you even 10 minutes to give us some basic insights in who you are and why you are eager to join us. And in return, we open to you the doors to everything that we have, not only this opportunity to get to learn, to know like-minded people, to attend events, to tap into learning resources, to stay informed of new funding opportunities or interesting projects that are running, but also to become a part of one of these 7 communities that we have, where people really hands-on produce joint initiatives. They write impactful papers or articles or blogs on certain topics that are related to any of these 7 themes. So I could imagine that some of you would be interested in the tech community, others in the communicators community, or the education and the research people. These are extremely vibrant communities of talented, like-minded people. I can also say that apart from communities, we have different working groups, we have different task forces that dive into more specific topics and that work for either a limited amount of time or for extended periods. And I myself am so proud to be the chair of the working group in support of the heritage sector in Ukraine, where we come together with people who try to keep a bit a panorama of all the support actions that are happening from all over Europe. But also we keep an eye on what's happening in Ukraine, because you guys have been coming up with the most amazing creative ideas and applications that are definitely up for wider use in the heritage sector. So we try to have that double focus so that we can make sure that both communities benefit to the maximum extent of what the other is doing. If you're willing and able to join, look, this is hands up our gratitude for having you among us. And please, let's keep in touch. In any case, I'll be following up close and personal what comes out of your endeavors. Very excited, wishing you the very best of luck.
Дуже дякуємо, дуже
Thanks a
дякуємо.
lot. Thank you, Sofie, for such inspiring speech. And we are keeping our fingers crossed for our amazing participants. Please visit workshop 3 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. Nasta, correct me if I'm wrong. Tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Please come. You will see that there will be lots of opportunities. You will be able to review this broadcast also when it's recorded, and you can write down all needed links, websites. So please be in touch of everything that's going on. You keep in the loop. Sofie, once again, thank you, and let's move on. And now we promised you that today we will be having lots of inspiring speeches from those people who really, I'm not afraid of such high words, create this history. And I'm now ready to give the floor to Chiara, Dezzi, Bardeschi, head of UNESCO in Ukraine. Chiara has 22, just imagine 22 years of professional experience of working in UNESCO, mostly in stable countries during emergencies. And also Ms. Dezzi Bardeschi has PhD in cultural heritage. So I believe that everything that she has to say will be extremely useful and interesting for you. Listen to her carefully. And she's also the professor of conservation of cultural heritage in Milan Polytechnic University. Chiara, we are ready. We are happy to welcome you. Please join us.
Thank you, Anastasia, for this welcome, and really I would like to thank the organizer for this beautiful event. It's very important indeed to continue supporting this type of activities, and to all the participants who are here today with us. And first of all, let me say that I will speak in my capacity of UNESCO representative here in Ukraine. Let me say that, as you know, UNESCO is, since the onset of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 22, has been working closely with Ukrainian institutions and people, in particular along three main axes, namely protection of cultural heritage in all its dimensions, from built heritage, creativity, intangible cultural heritage as well, but also has been working through the education program to enable and to support continuity of learning in wartime. Continuing learning and mental health, psychosocial support issues. And the third but not least, we are actually have been supporting, we are continuing to do this, access to information and media professionals, safety of journalists, and this is another domain. So I personally really appreciate this approach of this hackathon to combine intersectorial aspects, which are crucial, and we do know today that there is no real progress without innovation, without technologies, even, I mean, in all our field of cultural heritage, that is today the topic. I was asked actually to speak specifically on these aspects of on digitalization and how this is done in our program. You should see my presentation right now, the beginning, if this is. But at the same time, let me say that I thought that it was an opportunity to give you a very quick hint and overview on how the technologies, innovations, and in particular digitalization, is integrated within UNESCO approach and actions to safeguard Ukrainian cultural heritage. And in this sense, let me say that UNESCO is working along several main line of action. One is the support to Ukraine and working closely with UN agencies, but also World Bank and EU in coordinating the data collection and the damage, losses and need assessment at macro level. So here you have some of the latest figures that were calculated and published in February 24 this year. Starting from the beginning of the war and the aggression of Ukraine in February 22, you can see actually throughout the country this thorough macro level, I repeat, assessment has been able to identify almost $9 billion US dollars in terms of needs to restore the sector, and this in the next 10 years, with only for this year, 2024, 186 million required to urgently intervene in the sector. So evidently this is fundamental, especially, and require really concerted intervention and cooperation among different partners, national but also international aid is essential to continue. One of the other area of which is complementary is the documentation of damage, but more at context and the micro level, I would say detailed aspects. And UNESCO, since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, has activated a monitoring platform of damage. You see here as a visual, which is on February 24, where 344 sites were recorded. This is a satellite imagery based analysis before and after that we are conducting in cooperation with UNOSAT, that it's a UN agency for satellite imageries and analysis. And thanks to this, we are able to verify damage on also for areas where we do not have physical access. So for instance, occupied territories are also included, and Crimea, where we do not have a physical access, that are also reported. Today, there are already 366. Majority of damage are concentrated in Donetsk, Kharkiv, Odessa, and also the region of Kiev, followed by the other regions. And in terms of category or more affected category of properties, currently the highest number verified is for building of historical or artistic interest. This is a daily work that after is, you can see some example of, for instance, for Luhansk Oblast on how this analysis is conducted. And so this is really requiring a very technical, innovative also knowledge of geographic information system and the geospatial information system, how they do operate and how this can be reported. But also we are working on on-site direct damage assessment. And this not only include the evaluation of magnitude of damages. For instance, this was particularly the case of Odessa, which was repeatedly damaged by missile attacks between 20 and 23rd of July in 23, but also in terms of monitoring of conditions. And in particular of, you can see here in this image, some of the monitoring crack gauges installed on several priority buildings that we are monitoring and also teaching and working with this, not UNESCO only doing this monitoring, but is done with Ukrainian professional in the areas. And indeed, winterization, urgent measures to protect damaged buildings and urgent stabilization and consolidation. Most of these works are flanked by survey, inspection, visual and instrumental inspection of buildings. And here again, you see some images from Odessa during the assessment missions and campaigns, and where you see that 3D laser scanning architectural scanning is one of the most reliable tools to capture the condition of the damaged buildings. And based on this type of investigations and documentation, that after we have accurate measures, drawings, sections of the buildings, and these analyses are also compounded, complemented with non-destructive tests like dimensional test, structural behavior analysis, and also in some case we have tested thermal cameras applied to the laser scanning to identify the most critical areas. So this, it's giving us also the opportunity not only to have a static image of, and I would say, snapshot of the building conditions, but also to understand its dynamic effect and how conditions are checking, because buildings can also after be are also revisited and again produce additional information. In this image, this is the team of UNESCO, ICOMOS, and Ukrainian Polytechnic in Chernihiv, working on damage assessment of the theater, and through also laser scanning, but also other 3D important components that will serve also to inform the documentation for urgent measures. And indeed, this documentation requires also a unified methodology for damage assessment that has been discussed and agreed upon with more than 100 Ukrainian and international cultural heritage experts, and tested on the ground, and training has been done accordingly and is currently progressing. This is, we are speaking about buildings, and but of course the inventories and the digital inventories are key also for museum, for protecting collection, to understand the status of collection, protect them, and prevent illicit trafficking of cultural property, and to prepare for as well more long-term, sustainable, structured inventory, registering systems for cultural heritage in the country. So initially, UNESCO has been starting to support from beginning of 22 emergency inventories, for instance, in Museum of Fine Arts in Odessa, and currently the Odessa Archaeological Museums, with the photo documentation of artifacts, but also looking at on how the digital national system can be further supporting the operationalization of the centralized management system for register of the Ministry of Culture and Information, and how to also support this to implement, to pass from the vision to its operationalization, and also with some support in terms of the centralized server and required the minimal infrastructure. But of course, these infrastructure that are required today are quite wide according to the needs of the country. We all know that Ukraine counts more than 120,000 sites, and only in terms of historic cities, there are more than 400 historic cities currently registered, and millions of objects in a collection. So you have here some of this snapshot image from this collection. I would like also to take opportunity to mention that we are not looking only at buildings, at physical assets, and in Ukraine how to support and collaborating very closely with all Ukrainian institutions, but also the culture has really shown how relevant and how crucial is in wartime, and how fundamental is even more to support this, and how this is really at the heart of community resilience. So we are currently supporting with the funding from government of Spain the establishment of in Lviv of a cultural hub to serve as a platform for institution. It doesn't intend to replace existing institutions, but rather to further offer a platform for increased training and capacity building of staff in different topics. Here you have some of snapshots from training already conducted in the hub, and outside of the hub, since hub is under works, as you saw in the previous images. And these are concerning several topics from the geospatial information techniques and how this to be applied for documentation and heritage protection, that you can see in this image with the close collaboration of colleagues from UNOSAT, but previously also in museums, especially museums in emergency, and in particular currently we have been able already to run 2 cycles that benefited in particular for museum for more than 100 participants, representative from different museums across the country. Lastly, but not least, indeed, creative industries are critical, and access to cultural life and continuity of cultural creative production is one of the concern of UNESCO in terms of support, and this has been currently done through support of cultural projects throughout the countries. You have here some of these snapshot for some of the initiative, but also supporting in terms of Ukrainian artists, mainly female artists, in for a short-term artistic residencies in safer area across Ukraine. This is particularly addressed to artists close to active conflict zones, and initially also abroad for some of them who were actually who had to flee the country. And indeed, living heritage, intangible heritage, is a great resource, and we could initiate with 11 schools a project to teach with living heritage as an important aspect, not only to be protected, but also to be transmitted, and the resource also to improve quality of learning in the country. This resulted in already in a manual, in a short manual that you can see in this slide, that will be further also used now in additional training and an expansion of the program that we hope to be able to soon start. So I stop here and thank you very much for your kind attention. I hope that the presentation gave you some hint also for your projects. Of course, we are always ready to reply, and we are very eager also to learn about your the development of your ideas and your projects, what you will be present. I just mark here, you can see many of the action that I presented are also reported in our website, but also Twitter and social media. So please feel free anytime to contact us and to access these resources, and have really a very fruitful work in this amazing initiative. And thank you again for the time given for this presentation. Over to you. Дякую.
Дякуємо, Chiara.
Thank you, Chiara. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for coming here to share what UNESCO is doing in Ukraine, and that's really a lot. That's a lot, not only from the point of view of digitalization, but also, as you can see, when we are dealing with consequences of armed conflict and armed aggression from the side of Russian Federation. So here we would like to give the floor to our next speaker, Nataliia Kryvda, the chairperson of the Supervisory Board of the Ukrainian Cultural Foundation, the professor of Taras Shevchenko Kyiv National University, academic director of educational programs. I'm a fan of Nataliia Kryvda podcasts. I listen to them a lot, especially while running, and we invited Nataliia to inspire you also with such a short experience, or maybe recommendation, or maybe thoughts on how visions of the past form visions of the future, how experience of the past can form vision of the future. Nataliia, please, thank you for joining us today. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Anastasia. I hope that you can hear me well, and today I would talk about philosophical framework of that huge work that your colleagues and those who would like to take part in Hatathon will be doing. Sometimes we underestimate the importance of work that we are doing every day. Our projects that seem important only for us in the short term actually later can become pillars, can become extremely important for forming us as community. Please do not be afraid of high words. Trust me that all difficult theories are actually implemented and embedded in that daily work that we are doing. So if those colleagues who are listening to me might have some questions, you can text in the chat. I will try to answer. I will also try to fill everything in the shorter timeline that we planned, but nevertheless, I'm sure that I have to share this with you. I want to weaponize you, dear friends. I want to tell you about what amazing work is done by you. And I will start with the quotation of, by the way, very old quotation, still from the 80s of 19th century. Ernest Renan, in the article, actually in the speech that he was announcing in Sorbonne, the article was called "What is Nation?" and he was talking that nation is a spiritual principle that consists out of two things. Nation is a soul, writes Renan. One is in the past and another one in the future. One is when we all have common memories, and the other one is desire to live together, to use common heritage, heroic past, famous people, glory, but fair glory. This is the main capital the national idea stands on. As for me personally, I always worry about this idea. Projection of the past defines visions of the future. If we fix our past, if we are able to talk about it in a quality way, if we form it in such projects, products, services, cultural practices that will have influence on forming our nowadays, that's how we will influence the future. Dear contestants, dear participants of Hatathon, you together with your projects about heritage form the future, and it seems to me that this Taes idea should be in your heart. You are builders of the future, and absolutely sure about that. Memory is always a relevant phenomenon. It also belongs to Pierre Nora, this very famous French editor, research theoretician that gave our discourse term places of memory. We remember that places of memory, it's not necessarily particular places. It might be motto, song, architectural, some building, person, text, picture, painting that provokes memories and kind of forms your identity, working as some kind of trigger for you to be able to answer the question, who I really am, how am I present in this world? And it seems to me that it is important memory about us nowadays when we are doing projects about the past, when we are fixating in some kind of modern contemporary way cultural heritage and intangible and material. We are talking about us nowadays. Please not forget about that, dear friends. Memory is always this vivid connection with nowadays. And even though history and memory kind of represent the past, as Pierre Nora writes, but memory always actualizes what is important for us today. It seems to me that it is also about the fact that we are making our cultural heritage alive. It stops being that. It stops being something that we had in the past. It is about us nowadays, what irritates us, what worries us, what gives us the opportunity to survive, what is actually the basis of our resilience. By the way, historical and cultural memory is all difficult terminology, but you can look it all up. Let's talk about cultural heritage. Cultural heritage and historic memory. This is always the basis for culture, for group identity. We as society, as community, we have to agree what is valuable for us, what do we take with us from such fragmented past, from separate remnants of events, people, positions, texts, and so on and so forth. What do we take from that? And we form our big narrative, big story about ourselves, big story about ourselves. Story is important for us inside the country, inside every community. family, every person in particular. The story is also important outside. How do we look like? How are we represented in cultural landscape of Europe? That's why, and the basis of this valuable conception about us should be memories, should be those events and texts and images that obviously should have some consolidated, not ruining opportunities and define visions of the future. Important for preserving own identity as such relicts, remnants of cultural heritage. Society preserves as material things, letters, memorials, books, monuments, and also with lots of cultural institutions, and this all together is positioned as a cultural memory. But to cultural institutions, we also have here social and cultural practices, institutionalized practices. These are our teams, our projects that we are conducting, and through which we as citizens join forming of this valuable consensus about ourselves. Cultural memory, and once again, quotation, if you don't mind, I am a professor of the university, and it is important for me to hear not only my voice, but voice of academia, of scientific research community. So cultural memory provides for internal sustainability of the group, and we recognize each other among others in synchron and diachron measures through understanding, through in all these dimensions, through having this joint cultural memories, all those projects that you are ready to develop. So I'm grateful to partners for continuing financing this work. These projects are not about us in the past. These are the projects about us in the present, about our sustainability, about our identity. I would like to draw your attention to one important idea, and once again, Ernesto, in the memory of community, we have also not only heroic things, but also lots of sacrifices, despair, and sadness. They are also something that consolidates society and strengthens positive vision of the nation about themselves and define visions of the future. It seems to me that it is important, not always victory, not always cultural heritage that looks like a victory deserves to be fixed, it digitalized, and to become part of big narrative about ourselves. Interpretation of victims, interpretation of despair, interpretation of losses, and so we presenting those losses as something that might consolidate us is not less valuable and important. Maybe in some situations it is even more important. And I think that we also have to talk about that. I used word heritage and identity several times. I would like to repeat myself that preserving of our own identity is also done first and foremost through digitalizing and making contemporary this intangible and material heritage. Several words about identity, because once again we are getting back to this work that you are doing. I am a fan of Anthony Smith's theory. It is not the only and probably not the main one, but it is working serious for me right now and very productive. So identity, according to Anthony Smith, we are talking now about social collective identity, can be defined in two ways. I have talked a lot about this. I gave interviews. I was talking about this in podcasts, and I was writing about this in my article. So very shortly, identity can be defined through blood, and then we are forming our society as a super family. The super family. We are brothers and sisters. We are relatives because we have the same genealogy, cuisine, ethnography, clothes, cultural practices, language, religion. These are all components of this identity through blood. The second type of identity, according to Anthony Smith, is identity through values. When each of us can choose their own identity through being members of some kind of group with similar values. By the way, Anthony Smith uses Western, non-Western identity. We are not going to bring it to Ukrainian context because he's a professor of London University, but this is about what clusters, cultural clusters, these types of identity usually form. So Ukrainian identity, and lots of researchers are talking about this right now. You will find it in Brubaker, in Hrytsak. Ukrainian identity most probably is formed at the cross-section of identities through its origin and values. So it is important because on the one hand, it highlights that the culture of Ukraine is formed and created, and the heritage of Ukrainian culture consists of culture of different people. I'm not using different terminologies that is working in state documents today. Let's just talk about other people and other ethnical group and its culture of Ukrainian, the cultural heritage of Crimea Tatars, Jews, Polish people in Ukrainian culture is as well important for our self actualization, for forming Ukrainian political nation, for forming Ukrainian valuable identity. Identity through belonging to such community that sees your past in the same way and forms its future, visions of its future from the valuable point of view. I could not help but mention such actively quoted by me, Montserrat Gibernash is talking that there are strategies of forming national identity. There is no single recipe, but there are strategies of forming identity. And she also mentions formation of single image of the nation. That's about cultural heritage, about well thought, fixed, wrapped in something comfortable for user way. This understanding of cultural heritage, it is our understanding of us ourselves. Once again, I would like to repeat that it's a joint image of Ukrainian political nation. The second strategy, the system of symbols, rituals, what we call symbolic capital, pantheon of heroes, this different celebrations, what is our anthem, how everything is fixed, how it is subjectified our identity in some ceremonies, memorials, holidays, heritages, and commemoration practices. And once again, this is about that work in this project that you will be working with, and it's extremely important. The third point, it's a civic culture, and here Montserrat Gebernau is talking that the civil society very often is that fabric, that network that forms loyalty or the absence of such loyalty to state and to national identity. So please think about that. Not only such political state players, but also we, civil society, civil organizations, movements, teams that all get together to create joint project. This networking creates our loyalty to identity, creates our loyalty and forms our national identity. And that is why Hatathon is important. That is why this work is important that you are doing. The fourth, unfortunately, we proved it in a very painful and dramatic way. It's common enemies. Nothing formed Ukrainian identity as strong as our joint struggle for our existence. It's existential war. Lots of times in different contexts, with different platforms, we were talking about that. This is a war for our subjectivity, our state, for us to exist as nation. I recommend everyone, if you do not, please read the document if you do not have this huge resistance created by Russian Orthodox Church in March 2024. It's called a decree that Russian Orthodox Church gives to Russia as the state. And it's written there directly that they consider existence, simultaneous existence of Ukraine and Russia not possible. For the first time, so sincerely, so frankly, in such an atrocious way, they formulated the motive, the aim of the beginning of this war in 2014. Actually, from the cultural point of view, it has been on for much longer. So that's why it's existential war, and that is our war and joint enemies as an agent that formed our identity. And the fifth scenario about Masarahi Barna, it's education. Education, she called it the main player on the field of forming identity. National education from the beginning, from primary education to postgraduate education, something that forms the feeling of belonging to the society, this valuable consensus on the basis of which we form our own identity. I'm still the fan of that, and I recommend you to think about it because each of you have to form your own point of view. I'm the fan that valuable identity as Ukrainian identity that formed at the cross section of ethnic and valuable one is a very powerful tool. National culture is the foundation of national identity, and national identity is the foundation of national safety and national safety. And I repeat it as some kind of mantra, this phrase, and I am sure, I'm confident in its effectiveness. Through culture, we knock to hearts of people. Through culture, we create consensus, we create communities. Through culture, we protect ourselves. And maybe the last statement that I would like to share today, here I actually refer to authors of this theory. I recommend you to watch the interview of the lawyer Vitaly Tetich and cultural manager and art scientist Olga Bolashova. They start actively talking about the fact that we have to form and actively implement, just aggressively implement to international documents the phenomenon of cultural genocide. We all know Polish researcher Rafael Lamkin, who's actually the author of the term genocide. And in the UN Convention, that was adopted after Nuremberg process, there were such criteria, such types, actually, excuse me for calling it like that, such types of genocide as national one, racial, ethnical, and religious ones. Once again, national, racial, ethnical, and religion ones. And destruction of peoples on this basis, on this foundation right now, today is considered by world society as a crime. But Lamkin offered one more basis. He was talking about genocide on cultural foundation. And in his famous speech, it is in open access on the internet, you can read it. In its famous speech in 1953 on Manhattan, and at that time, lots of descendants of Ukrainian immigrants in New York were commemorating Holodomor of 1932-1933. Lamkin there, in a very loud and professional and justified way, proves that Stalin regime consciously destroyed Ukrainian nation, and genocide that was formed was this genocide on cultural basis, on cultural foundation. Summing up, I would like to remind you that today Ukrainians in Crimea, Luhansk, Donetsk, or Avdiivka, Ukrainians were killed there not for being Ukrainians. Polish people, Jews, Russians, Ukrainians were killed there. All our co-citizens were killed and are being killed for being citizens of Ukraine, for being representatives of Ukrainian political nation. It is genocide on cultural basis. And what you are doing, your projects, and I really wish you all success, and I'm sure in their sustainability, in their quality, in that you see the final beneficiary of your projects as Ukrainian nation. Your projects are in particular testaments to the fact how our enemy destroys our culture, how genocide is done on the cultural basis, how it destroys us, because destroying us, because our culture, our presence in the world is not possible for them. I wish all the success to everyone. I really in honor and in awe of your work. I'm grateful to organizers of Hatathon and to Ukrainian and international organizations that support such an event because colleagues, you do the work that fixes crimes against Ukraine, and maybe some of your projects will be testaments in Haga court against our enemy, against those who are destroying Ukraine right now. But we are indestructible. Our sustainability will be in manuals one day. So we wish you all the success, quality of work. Please remember that networks and teams win, and our horizontal relations, but about horizontal relations and about deepening of this cultural practice to the whole history of Ukrainian culture. I will tell you next time, next 20 minutes. Thank you, colleagues. Everything will be Ukraine. Take care. Wow, it was really wow. Thank you. Thank you, Nataliia. It's extremely inspiring. Actually, it's so difficult for me to speak right now because I have a lump in my throat, and it is really inspiring. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you are doing. Thank you for communicating this in a very loud and clear way. Nastya, do you have anything to add here? Because I have nothing else to add. Have lack of words right now. Well, actually, it's just very inspiring to get to Hatathon. Thank you, Nataliia. We would really like to spend more time with you to talk more, but we will definitely get together again, maybe next time, really. And on this such inspiring notes, we would like to invite you to our session, Q&A session. We will go there together with our colleague from House of Europe, Ilona Demchenko, and we will try to answer all your questions to give you maybe some advice if it is needed, because we are always saying that maybe we might need some advice from you, and it is also valuable. Provide feedback to us. We are open. So just yes, so let's invite Ilona to join us. Just a minute, we will invite Ilona to join us, and you can write your questions in the chat so far. Yes, please write your questions in the chat. We will try to answer them.
Так, ми повернулися. Друзі, все
We
ще
are back. Dear friends, we are still waiting. There are three of us here, so you can address the questions to any one of us, or you cannot even, might not even need to address them, because we will delegate the responsibility for your questions to each other. I would like to remind you that the questions to all the answers practically are available on our website, or yesterday we had Q&A session. I believe that we managed to answer a majority of your questions, and also answers to main questions concerning operational methodological spectrum are available in guidelines of the participant. Nevertheless, we have a little bit of time left, and we will be happy to see questions from you in the chat. And while we are waiting for such questions, I have such a tricky question to you. Ilona, you mentioned that every time it's already fifth year in a row, I always forget that it's our fifth hackathon. You feel even more excited about that, like the first more than it was for the first time. Could you please tell me, you as also a member of the jury, what do you expect to see? What project do you expect to see? What you personally will pay particular attention to while evaluating? It's a good question. Yes, I used all my best questions. Yes, it's not so easy to answer them, actually. The peculiarity of hackathon, of this format, because it was in classical ideathon firstly, and then it changed its form a little bit, but it's still hatathon. So it is something that you by definition expect something unexpected here. So in other grant programs of House of Europe, we are always trying to have very specific frame so people can immediately understand if it's possible, whether they like this idea or not. The idea of hackathon is that frameworks are very wide, and it will be really great if we have very unreal ideas here that I might not even think of right now. So if I say that I expect ideas from digitalization of museum collections, then it's true. I will be expecting them, but ideally, I would like to see something that is behind this general offer to digitalize collection, or something that is in the museum. So something that will be with an unexpected twist. So that's why here I expect to be surprised. I love being surprised in this sphere, and Hatathon is a really great source, because really we have here such projects that you do not expect to see. But what I'm going to pay particular attention to, probably, since I'm not just a member of the jury, but I'm also part of the House of Europe, and it's my informal but also formal role. So the main aim of the House of Europe is globally not to support Ukrainian culture, but also to deepen relations between Ukraine and the European Union. So that's why for me it is very valuable to find such project that might show us on European platforms. That is always one of the tasks. So that's why I'm always automatically look for something that might be useful in the sphere. Such projects appear every year as well. If we have even more of them, that's only a good thing. So once again, I counted 4 or 5 criteria that we have. The main ones: it's innovativeness, it's upscaling, and it will be very difficult for you, dear teams. So that's one. Once again, I would like to remind you that we have mentors and experts. The access to them you will have on the 24th of May. So once again, I advise all of you to come to our consultations. And meanwhile, we have questions. The first one I will take for myself. What do we have here? How to choose the project for the team? We do not have any idea so far, but we have the will to join this topic. That's a great question, Nastya. Ilona, what would you say as inspirators? Well, you see, you have to talk about yourself. That's the first thing. To choose the team, you can go to the chat, intro and ideas. We have it in the Slack. You can read. There are lots of different ideas there. And also we have a database of the projects where you also can go and see what projects are registered. So it can be, for instance, 2 options. The first one is to look through the projects that we already have, read about intro from people, understand what is closer to you, find your topic. For instance, I like theater, or I want to deal with digitalization of, I don't know, songs or whatever it is. So find something that you like the most and where you would like to go, to which sphere. That's the first variant. The second variant, please write intro about yourselves. That's definitely in the chat once again, and people might look for you as well. So do not do it with there shouldn't be a one-channel communication, because maybe there are some people who still have some doubts in their ideas, but it might coincide with yours. Or for instance, if you are a designer or a developer, then for such people, it seems to me, are absolutely invaluable. They have to immediately be snitched to the teams. And you also have to understand where you can help, which team you can help better. And once again, what inspires you. Because actually, the choice at Hackathon is huge. Usually at the first stage of the registration, we have 200 plus projects. We will close tomorrow the registration of the project, or when it's going to happen? On the 23rd or 24th, 20, the 24th. So after educational program. So we'll give you the opportunity to be inspired by the educational program. And we ourselves as organizers will also be we will all give you the opportunity to meet each other. We will have a vacancy fair. We will have our project that are looking for people. So we will try to connect you with each other as much as possible, because it is also a big value of Hatathon. Actually, it's already, we already have this fair. People already start talking about themselves and presenting their projects. So if you're not yet registered, then I will just give the answer a little bit to the next question that we have in the chat concerning, please register, please get engaged in the community, and there you will definitely it will be beneficial for someone. Maybe you can join some team, or maybe with your expertise you can mentor some team, not as like a mentor, but just with your advice, with your experience, and so on. And here we have already the second question, actually, concerning what if in the process of conducting hackathon there will be somebody who might be willing to join some project, those who are not registered, maybe can we include them into our team? Dear friends, we have very specific rules. We have to understand who we are working with, who mentors are working with, because every team will be reporting to mentors team about its content, and it's extremely important for us not to have such a situation. Then team was formed with those people who are not in the community, that we have not communicated with. So that's why maybe colleagues might join to this. Maybe they will have their own opinions concerning that. But if you want to join someone to your team, but you are not yet ready that they will join, let them register. If later they might change their mind, then it's okay, it's fine, nothing's wrong with that. But in the process to get this, to add this person, it will be impossible, because everything is going on in the Slack, and person can get in the Slack only after registration, official registration on the website. Right now, you have 40 more minutes to close all the story, because the team texted that let's finish registration at 8 p.m. for it to be beautiful after the end of the stream. So it will be beautiful. We will close it at 8 p.m. Yes, I agree with everything that colleagues have mentioned. Be proactive as much as possible. We give you this time, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and the 24th we already start at a little bit. But you have, in any case, 2 days for networking. And these are 2 days created not only to fill you in with the content, but also for you to meet each other, to communicate, to find each other, and to start creating really great things together. And the next question, whether the general European hackathon is planned, because we would like to cooperate with specialists not only in Ukraine. Actually, that's our big dream, and we hope that next year we will have all European hackathon about in English language, about Ukrainian heritage, so that we might be able to speak with international participants, international mentors. We will be working on that. I can promise you that. We will sleep a little bit after this, and then we will start working on that. I can add here, if you don't mind, just 2 sentences that really, actually, from the very beginning, we reviewed this project as an international one, and we had certain endeavors, and there was always this vision of online event that can unite communities in Ukraine and in the EU. But dear participants, there is such a problem that is typical for everyone, and it's language barrier. That's why please learn languages. It is extremely important part of our integration to world community and cultural heritage and culture as such. I see, but colleagues also see that the situation is getting better with every year. Just 2 more years, and we will be able to have great hackathon for several countries in English without interpreting. But other countries also should learn English. It's not only a Ukrainian problem, but still, as soon as we have such an opportunity, we will definitely conduct that. And I, on behalf of House of Europe, can say that we will be happy to organize and hold such event. And I hope that in the nearest future, we will be able to meet with our European colleagues and conduct something new. The word neighbors, I kind of got a little bit concerned. It's good that you mentioned European neighbors. Oh, those neighbors are not our neighbors anymore. Okay, then let's move on. From which moment it is correct to start working on the project within Hackathon? From tomorrow, 24th, 26th. Well, let me answer and colleagues can add. Actually, you can already start working on your project inside the team. No one stops you. But the consultations with mentors, with team networks and others will be possible after all participants provide their projects, also on the 24th after we end the registration. And now you can work on your project, you can start doing something, you can start creating the project, and when we have access to team and expert networks, you will be able to continue your work. So right now, if you allow it, we have this ideation and formation of the team format right now. So if your team is not yet fully formed, form them. If idea is not yet framed, frame them. If you do not have idea, make it up. Yes, the question, another question. My team consists of 6 people, not 5. And we need everyone to work in one team. I think that it's possible. We are not going to control who's working in your team and who's not working in your team. So you can work in your team, but the most important thing is that for you to have a prototype, to have a presentation, and to be satisfied with the process and the result. So that's why come and if you're working remotely, try to find time for this, because sometimes it's difficult. For in the offline hackathons, it's easier because you're all in one place, and here children, dogs, pets, air raid alarms, unfortunately. So that's why we understand everything, and but please treat each other with understanding as well. But we do have rules, and rules are the same for everyone, for all the participants. Absolutely. We have one more question once again about the team. Thank you. You talk a lot about teams and networking, but what if the team of one person and it's enough? What advice do we have here? The same advice as for everyone. Do your project. We allow, it is officially mentioned in the rules that we allow participation for individual participants. It has not always been like that. It seems to me that it started from the second to the third hackathon, because we understood that there are people who can come with the idea, who are creators, but actually one person is absolutely enough at this stage. It's enough to have such person to talk about his or her ideas. If you are a team of one person, then it's the team of one person. You're not an individual participant. You're a team lead of this team. You will be keeping in touch with team mentors. You will be pitching your product in the final if you are elected, and you selected, and you also will be working on the concept and presentation of your project and everything that that is needed to go to the final. And we also advise you to go to mentors, to join the mentorship team, to listen to all the lectures. So if you do not need anyone, if you don't need any members of the team, then it's fine. It's okay. It means that at this stage you don't need anyone. Yes.
Одна людина, це ж
But
сумно.
still, one person is that sad. Find. Find someone. There are so many great people. There are designers that can help you with the presentation, or a person that can help you with the website. So if you do not want to share your vision with someone, maybe find someone who can help you with forming this vision. By the way, yes. So we love that. We have such a practice and we really have great ideas for forming into prototype. So once again, you need to understand that you have to have some minimal prototype during this hackathon timeline. And can we get access to workshop on grant writing if I joined just today? We will have partnership workshop, not grant writing workshop. You will be able to get the access if you registered, and if you are in Hatathon community, we will share all the records on the records. If this workshop on grant writing is within the program, educational program, it's not about, it's about partners, it's not about grant writing. So maybe let's talk a little bit more about educational program, where we are still waiting for questions for several minutes concerning what we were expecting, how it is built. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. we have 2 days of educational program. They start at 3 p.m. and they end in the evening, somewhere around 7:30 p.m. every day. We will not be, because yesterday the Q&A session we had lots of questions whether educational program is obligatory or not. It's not like in the school, we are not going to monitor your absence as it is in schools. So we are not going to do that. It's it's not for you, the program is not for you to come and for us to see who visited, who didn't visit. It's for you. We tried to make it practical and for you and for this program to help you at Hackathon in particular. The first day will be about data and digitalization. We invited experts in digitalization storytelling. The first workshop will be in English from Europeana. We mentioned about it today. Also, we will have information about data, about digitalization. Irena Hlik will be there. Previous year, she conducted such workshops, and we had lots of good feedbacks about that. We will have HAMO. We will be talking about register and certifications. We had lots of questions about this topic, and they asked to dwell upon it. And it's extremely important, and I would like to refer to the previous lecture of Nataliia Kryvda. We will have lecture on ethical formality of the concept of your project. I encourage all of you to come. We will have the representative of Cultural Foundation, the culturologist. She will be working with you. She might inspire you to choose your direction, because one thing is these are tools you're working with, especially once again I encourage technological audience in particular. And another thing, what are the frameworks of this cultural project, is that maybe culturologist or specialist in cultural sphere can help you more. And the second day is dedicated to product, from idea to product. We invited a really great trainer that has been with us already the 5th year at Hatathon, and a mentor and a speaker, the trainer of European startups. She has been working a lot in European startups, American startups, and she helps to polish the idea into the project. And all these specialists, you see, their consultations are extremely expensive. You will not be able to find them just like this. And those workshops, their workshops are expensive. We do it for free. So please come, listen, ask questions, and do not lose this opportunity. And one more important thing, it's about presentations and speeches from Oksana Trikun, trainer. I am a fan of Oksana, so that's why please join. It's 24th. I also forgot to mention that on 24th we will have one more English language workshop from without interpretation from Institute of Digital Archaeology about not material heritage. Please join. All those programs are in the Slack channel, social networks. We have timing there, links, guides, everything is the guidelines. Please monitor this. So we will not miss it because we remind you about that. Yes, I speak a lot, and I think that now I can give the floor to my colleagues because we already have more teams in YouTube, Facebook. And if you don't mind, one more sentence about grant writings. Yes, we're not going to have a separate workshop, but there will be mentors, and I, in particular, they are working on that topic, and so visit our individual sessions will be more exclusive and more even valuable. You will be able to work on this topic separately. Yes, please let me take the next question. Then could you please tell who from the team should pitch the project on Kyiv on the 31st of May? Whether there is opportunity to do it online. Thank you. And yes, so question about Kyiv on 31st of May. Preferably for you to come offline, to visit us offline. We from our side cover the cost of the way if you're from regions to go to Kyiv. If there is no such opportunity as you're a team lead of the team and you're pitching, but you can give this function, delegate this function to someone from your team, to the participants of your team, please do that. Because once again, I would like to mention that from the 28th till the 30th, there will be an opportunity to train teachers and online workshops with me. And actually, we would like to see you offline, but even if none of these variants are relevant for you, of course, we organize online broadcasting, so there will be the opportunity to join online, but offline location will give you the opportunity to communicate with experts, to communicate with speakers, to communicate with everyone, but we will invite some mentors to join us to support the teams. You will be able to meet organizers. You will be also able to spend time in Kyiv and on the stage pitch your project. It seems to me that it's a unique opportunity, a great opportunity. But if you cannot come personally and you cannot delegate it to anyone from your team, then if you are in this short list from 10 teams, then we will be able to see all of you online. And I would like to add to this very exhaustive Nasta's comment, I would like to add that we will be able to reimburse you not only for traveling costs, but also for housing costs. Of course, we plan to have some intensive day after we get a short list because we will agree it separately with teams and we'll have different circumstances and in different places, but we have money allocated to see you and for you to have the opportunity to see us. We will have event in this great location, the center of Kyiv, at the same time as another very interesting event. So that's why if you have such opportunity, I advise you to come and visit. It should be interesting. Of course, it's dynamical. Lots is in dynamic. You cannot plan it in advance, but we will try to do everything possible to support you organizational wise. So we hope that part of our participants, the more the better, will be able to join us. Finally, thank you. I support wholeheartedly. So we have two more questions. What is with the timing? Nastya, could you please answer? Every participant of the team should register separately? Yes. So we ask everyone to register. Why? Because we need to understand. You get, first of all, information about the project, and we also know how to add those participants to the Slack. So it's very operational moments that we need to know. That's why we really ask you to register all participants of your team. How to get to individual sessions? individual sessions, these are sessions with expert mentors. On the 24th, when the work with the team starts, we will open the list of all 100 plus expert mentors that we have. They are very different, they are amazing, and you will choose who you would like to go to. Maybe you will also be directed by your team mentors. Every expert mentor will have such a link to a calendar where you will be able to book the meeting and to appoint the meeting with this mentor those days. So you will be able to choose and consultations, mentors. We do not limit you with that. We actually encourage you to go to all you can go to and to everyone you are interested in and to all who might help you with your project. Absolutely, support wholeheartedly and agree with that. And on this perfect note, I offer that we end our opening because knowing ourselves, we can talk about Hatathon in months, and I'm not exaggerating because we finish one, we already start thinking about the next one. So from my side, I would like to express gratitude to my fellow speakers, Nastya as my co-moderator and Ilona as equal part of our team. And I also would like to wish inspiration to great teams in your project. So we are exciting to see what projects we will have, which projects will be in final. I'm super excited about that. So that's why thank you for being with us. So dear colleagues, would you like to add something? Yes, so just shortly, I would like to say that I really wait to see everyone tomorrow at 3 p.m. at educational program. Yes, I also wanted to say that I wish inspiration and luck to everyone and see you in Kyiv. See you, good luck, bye.